Welcome to Season 4, Episode 2 of the Purpose Pro podcast. Our mission is to connect you to your unique purpose and design. If you love learning simple, effective ways to lead yourself and others well, this podcast is for you. I'm excited. This episode, we have Alicia Thrasher, co-founder and CEO of MGR360 and the CEO Ranch. I actually got to visit recently. And co-author of The Manager's Playbook. Hey, Joe.
And Zach didn't read a word of what he just introed. That came so naturally to you. It was good.
Hey, I have a question for you.
Sound like you're reading, bro.
If you look up there at our book, Alicia, you will see Joe Elliott.
Yes.
And then there's a small little, like, you see the scribble underneath?
You can't really see.
You can't.
I don't know.
The
The
so
camera.
I need glasses.
That would be
4K.
that would be
it's
my
not
name.
your-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With,
Now, Joe, if you
with
look
Zach
at
Tinney. Yeah.
if you look at their book,
Right.
Oh, same.
Oh, equal.
Same font
equal
size.
You know, we
So-
wrote. when we
It doesn't
wrote-
mean a thing. Doesn't mean a thing. You're still good.
But equal opportunity. You know, I
Equal
get. Yeah, I get it. I get it. But when we wrote our book, I was like, trying. It was. You know how hard it was to get chapters from this guy?
Oh.
I was like, bro. I know you're, a P
So is
on,
it a
on the
pain in the
Myers-Briggs,
ass
but it's
factor?
like, yeah,
you
I
get,
was like,
you get smaller font, the bigger pain you are.
I could just see him sweating over every paragraph.
Aaron Alba, our film guy, his name's actually on there somewhere. But as the pain in the ass factor got bigger, his name got smaller.
I get it, yes.
Buy the book and see if you can find his name.
It's like, where's Waldo?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have this conversation today around leadership.
Yeah.
What makes a good leader? The world needs more good leaders. And like I said, I got to go to the CEO Ranch recently and just be able to sit and experience what you guys are doing, and it's awesome. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I was so glad to see you last week.
All right, now that we got the nice stuff out of the way, I got a serious question for you. Why are good bosses so hard to find? Seriously.
So it really goes back to you start out as an individual contributor, in all jobs that you have. And then when you get really good at that, your manager says, well, you should lead people and you should become a manager. And they don't train you. You have no idea. You got really good at doing your individual tasks, but you have no idea how to lead other people. So managers should really be pulled into management by how they lead other people, how they influence other people, not necessarily by being a great individual contributor. So really training is really required.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
Kind of
All right.
outrun your coverage. And
Yeah.
it does. It takes unique skills to be a successful manager or
It
leader.
is.
That are different than the hard skills that you might have made you successful at your job in the first place.
Absolutely.
Well, cool. While we were at the CEO Ranch, we were able to unpack some really powerful tools. I feel like I came back like a handyman, and I was just able to build in my organization. And so we want to break down some of those today. Joe, if you would go ahead and grab those cards.
What are we doing?
We're playing a game.
All right.
It's
And we'll
not
see
poker.
who wins.
I mean, they look exactly like playing,
Okay,
playing
all right, I'm
cards for poker.
Yeah,
but
this is a deck of cards. It's got your logo on it.
This was one of the tools that we were given.
Was this a Would You Rather game?
you gain great insights in this game as well.
Okay.
Go. And
All
so
right.
while Joe picks a card, you gave us two pictures while we were at the ranch. And one was of Santa Claus and Santa Claus leadership. And the other was of like a conductor. Could you break that down real quick?
Sure. So there's different types of leaders or the way you lead. There's the Santa and the Elves model where it's great. I got to be a leader and manager now. And so they gave me all these helpers to do all of the things that I need to do. And Santa, they get to do all the fun stuff. They get to do, give toys to the kids. They get to ride on the sleigh. And the elves are just busy working. Well, that's not a great leadership model.
No, but it does sound
it
like
is for Santa.
It does sound like a dream job, though.
It's fun for Santa.
He eats the cookies.
He eats the cookies.
But as a parent, I kind of imagine my world and home like that, right? Like the kids are my helpers. They're doing the
Yes.
chores and the dishes and walking the dog and
But if you convert that to the conductor model, where you're conducting an orchestra, they might have been the best, bass player or flutist, but they got, into their conductor role because they are the best at bringing everyone together and, playing the best songs. So it's not, a good manager will do some of the dirty work that employees don't want to do, and really bring out the best in their employees, and that magnifies productivity.
There's a lot of wisdom there, but I can't help but think if I was a parent conductor, I could have had my kids bringing in income by the time they were 12, right?
You're missing out.
Yeah,
you got to take this class early.
Yeah.
I went and watched Paul Simon downtown at Bass Concert Hall pretty recently, and I paid $200 a ticket to watch Paul Simon. But then when we got there, we're up in the nosebleeds with like all these old screaming adults. It was a lot of fun. But as we're watching, I realized there's 18 other people behind him that make his act possible, that make that ticket price of that value. And so when I think of the conductor, like really, you're bringing the best out in all your people, which starts with knowing your people, which sets up these cards.
Okay, that's why I'm holding a deck of cards. That's going to help me know you.
Let's find out.
All right, what are you doing?
So these are for one-to-one meetings?
Yes. So, if you're having regular one-on-one meetings with your direct reports and team members, then you're really investing in them and showing them that you care about them and their productivity, their future, helping coach them. So a lot of times experienced managers kind of run out of things to say during one-on-ones, and new managers might not have had a one-on-one before, and they don't even know what questions to ask. So we thought we would come up with a deck of cards that would help with that. So the manager can pick out a few ahead of a one-on-one, or they can get a little crazy and fan the deck and let their employee pick a card or two.
All right, let's play. We're going to take turns, and you're going to tell us who won. All right. So I'm the.
We all are winners.
No, that's not that. No,
We
this
thrive
is
on competition.
yeah. This is not
I'm
the trophy
competitive
generation here. No.
You
Okay,
get a
listen.
ribbon. All right.
We all
card,
get
any card.
participation
Are
trophies.
you gonna guess what?
No.
my
Okay,
card
wait.
is?
You're picking a card, and I'm the boss, right? You're the employee, right?
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're the
For
manager.
the situation, yes.
You're the employee.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. All right.
I'm asking you, or you're asking me?
This really is random.
I don't know. How does that work?
Yeah,
Is he asking me? No.
So you
Aw.
pick the card, so the manager will ask you the question.
Okay, you pick the card. I ask you the question. Okay, here we go. All right. What's the thing you've done in this role that makes you the proudest?
So honestly, manager, pretty much everything I do is excellent. It's really hard to pick, but I was very proud when
Do you do anything that you're proud of
That's
in
a
this
good
organization?
question.
Right. Yeah.
That question does challenge me though, to think like, what are my motivators?
Okay.
Like, when do I feel accomplished? How do I define a win?
Okay, put your catalyst hat on.
Okay.
Okay, reset. Here we go. Catalyst hat on. Zach, you've been doing this for a decade now.
Okay.
What's the thing you've done in this role that makes you the proudest?
Oh man. So, and I think this fits the conductor piece. I am proud that this room is full of student interns filming this and relationships that we've had for a very long time. One of my middle school students is still here and still tolerates me and still serves with us and is now doing even better things than I did. And that makes me really proud. But one specific moment I think of is when we did Catalyst Got Talent and we had all those student acts on that big old stage with all the smoke, and just it took everybody, like all our volunteers and all our teams, to really pull off an event of that size. And when we accomplished that, I was like, man, I'm really proud of that.
That's good. That's good.
So that goes to, we talk about, demotivators and then motivators, and really demotivators are just aggravators, things that you expect as part of being part of an organization, and as having a manager, company policies, can be an aggravator. Salary, might get a little deep on this, but that can be an aggravator. It's actually not a motivator. And so the motivators, at the top of the motivators list is what you just said, is a sense of accomplishment. So there's a list of the top 5 motivators that managers really want to dig into and think through. What motivates this person? What sense of accomplishment helps them get the job done?
Dang. Reminds me of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yes, it is. Very similar.
Okay.
So I think
turn.
she's saying I killed it. Yeah.
No. I don't think. I think it's unfair to judge at this point. Here,
She
you
said
hold
I was
thing,
the
I'll
top
pick.
of the pyramid.
Well,
All right,
maybe
so
you should be the manager now.
Yeah,
Are you
you.
gonna-
Yeah, I like the
you
sound of
manager.
that.
I still
That's
pick the
all
card
right.
though.
Hey, pick a card.
It's
You're-
kind of
you're
like when you
fired.
cut a piece of cake. Whoever cuts, the other person
Eats.
eats.
Joe
the
always
bigger
eats the cake. It's not
Oh.
even fair.
Okay.
Okay, Joe.
Yes.
What was the name of your least favorite manager ever, and why?
No, that's not on
That
the
is
card.
not
would
on the
that would
card.
not be the right question to add, but a very good one though. That would be fun.
I mean,
Yeah,
that'd be
should
a fun story.
Should we create another deck?
Yeah, like Cards Against Humanity. Like
That's right, for managers, yeah.
Never played that game, but what is the most useful feedback you've received in the last 90 days?
The last 90 days.
It can be further if you need.
Oh, my wife has given me a lot of feedback, but let's okay, manager.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the most useful feedback that I consistently get, because I'm hard-headed, that I've gotten the last 90 days is to focus on one thing and put off other things and hyper-focus in one area. I think I have people around me that continue to remind me, that's good, but not now. That's great, but not right now. Let's focus on the one thing. And so that's been really helpful.
It's important to have those people around you.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Oh.
All right. So very cool. All right. The cards
Prioritizing.
work.
That was like
Check.
yeah.
Check.
Yeah.
That was a B plus.
Yeah. No, I'd say a triple plus.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, cool. I think those are awesome conversation starters. And for me, like, I'm excited to use those with my employees as I like build those muscles.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually just freestyle with some of the questions in that card deck.
Well, it's pretty funny because I still use them with all my employees, and I used to use them at the end of my one-on-one as, a piece that we finished all our, kind of things we needed to talk about, at the business, and then pulled out the deck of cards. And then there are several weeks where we just had too much to talk about where we didn't get to the deck, and they were like, I want to do the cards. And so we had to move them to the beginning of the one-on-ones to make sure that we got to them and just time box it.
That's awesome.
So,
Okay, so knowing your employees is very important, and understanding who they are and what makes them unique so that you can draw out the best of them like a conductor. But them knowing you is also really important. And so you guys have an awesome tool for that called a user manual. Can we just riff on this user manual for a little bit?
Yeah, okay, I got to peek at that. This is a cool idea. So tell us about this.
okay, so humans are kind of the most complex machines out there. And we have to back up just a little bit and talk about the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And we actually think as managers, you should follow the platinum rule. And the platinum rule is treat others how they want to be treated. Well, we have all different personalities, all different strengths. How do we, as managers, treat everyone the way they want to? It's easy for us to treat people how we want to be treated because we know us. So we have to really get to know our employees and ourselves. And so we have the concept of the user manual. So, like machines and computers and vacuums come with a operator's manual. And so we have the same concept for ourselves and our employees. So we have everyone write down what are their quirks, what are the things that make us tick, and how do we tell people how to work best with us. So some things on my user manual are I avoid email at all costs. If you need to talk to me or get hold of me, the best way is to first in person. If you can't do that, call or text or Teams message me. Emails, I don't sit on email every hour all day. There are things like being on time. being on time is very important to me. It shows respect. And so if you're not early, you're late. And so I just had a new employee start, and she said, I'm generally, 15 minutes late to everything. She said, I read that in your user manual, and now I make a point to be on time or early to all of our meetings. So it solves problems before they start, and it also fast tracks when you do have a new employee. They read your user manual and they're like, that's why she does that, or things like that.
Okay, in Zach's user manual, it would say, if you text me and I don't reply in 30 seconds, you probably won't hear from me for another 3 days.
Yeah, it's either 30 seconds or never.
Or never.
Right. Look, I'll tell you right now.
So you probably have 50 million unread texts.
I have 189 unread texts right now.
Oh, let's play this game.
33,000 emails.
Oh, yes. I've got
so I'm similar to you.
268 unread texts and 94,566 unread emails.
So
we're killing someone right now.
Yeah.
We both lose.
All right.
We'll get back to you soon.
The
just
268
hold,
people
please.
lose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I think that's huge. So start thinking of something in your user manual. And I'm still writing mine. I like to think the more complex the machinery, the thicker the user manual, right? Like, I'm a weird guy. And I have a lot of quirks.
Yes.
And so for me to be able to be vulnerable and communicate those with my team and not just bottle them up, like when they're 5 minutes late, to not just get frustrated and stuff that and then eventually explode is huge. This is a valuable tool.
Well, and you set expectations. So it's not really fair if people don't understand what you expect from them if you never tell them. You can't get upset about that if they don't even know what your expectations are.
So I was reading some of the chapters in the book. I haven't read all of it, but I read something that I was like, wait, I can't just skip past that. In the book, you talk about management, leadership, and coaching. And I got to tell you, like, maybe if you pressed me, I know there's differences there, but my mind would just throw those all into one bucket. But you talk through them as different tools: management, leadership, coaching. Can you elaborate on the difference between those three?
Yeah, so you kind of think of it as like a three-legged stool, and that's why we're called Manager 360. So to be a well-rounded manager, you need all three legs of the stool or you're going to fall over. So management is a leg of the stool, leadership, and then also coaching. You have to do all three things or you kind of fell as a manager. So we consider management as those things you have to make decisions about. So where people sit, what they're going to work on, what their salary is, things like that. You have to make decisions. And then leadership is all about influence. So, showing that you're competent and credible and caring. That's how you increase your influence with them. You can't, lead your way into a decision. You have to make management decisions sometimes, and sometimes you have to lead with influence, which is leadership. Mm-hmm. And then coaching. You're going to have to help people get better. And when they know that you care enough to help them get better and succeed at their goals and help them in their career path, they're going to never leave you.
Do you feel like when you think of the typical leader in the business world, do you feel like one of those is missing the most? Or is there one that's harder for people to develop than the other?
So I think there's misconceptions. So in coaching, I think people feel intimidated, or managers feel intimidated in coaching because they don't know how to do the specific thing that they're coaching about. But anyone can coach. You just have to give them the resource or send them to the right training and then follow up with them. Just don't go tell them to read a book. Follow up, have a book club, show that, make sure you're following up and making sure that they understood what they learned and things like that.
I have a degree in management and marketing. I swear I never learned any of this stuff.
That's a really good point. So managing people is very hard and important, and they don't teach you this stuff in college. And even if they did, it would be years before you became a manager, and you'd forget all the things that you learned. So
that's why, boys and girls, you should avoid college at all costs.
That's so not exactly what I said.
Oh, it's not what you said? That's what I said.
Nope.
Yeah.
When we were out at the ranch, one, it was awesome just to get away from like the busyness of the work and all the pressing emergencies, and really just like focus on myself and why I do what I do, invest in myself so I can invest in others, right? And while we were sitting there were some tenured college professors who taught management at some university somewhere.
That was so intimidating.
Yeah. But they sat there and they were googly-eyed over this stuff. And I think that point that you just hit is so important. Like, you learn this in the beginning, maybe, I don't remember any of this stuff. I don't remember any of these tools. And it would have been super helpful. If I would still have that placemat from college if you would have given it to me. And so I eventually would have dusted it off. But it would have been 7-10 years later before I was actually able to apply. And in the applications where you really like learn this stuff, book smarts versus street smarts are totally different things. So these tools are awesome for any manager, any leader, any coach, anywhere. And they need to check this out.
Well, and it's really interesting that you bring that up, getting away from, your work environment, going out to the ranch, because really it's giving yourself the space. You never, generally, managers don't take the time or have the time to set aside time to just think about how you're best leading your people, and if they're being as productive as they can be, and how you are interacting with them, what their personality types are, and how to bring out the best in them and their unique purpose and passions.
I'm just hacking away trying to cut down that tree, and my axe is like so dull. If I would just take time and get away and sharpen it,
there you go.
I'd be a lot more effective when I got back. I actually brought my disc back and I gave it to my team, and they were like, yeah, that's pretty spot on. And so them learning me again and like me being vulnerable, helps us all.
Well, and it's huge if you have them, go through the same exercises, have them do, the personality and strength assessments and write their user manual, and then everyone read all of that. And it's so funny when you do that user manual exercise, your employees will come back to you and say, okay, you need to add this to your user manual. And so it's a living document. I'm still adding to mine. As I get older, I get quirkier. So
that's good feedback.
Yeah. So for the leader who says to themselves, I know I have influence and I want to do a better job. I want to make sure I'm leading people well. What's some of the most practical advice you find yourself giving?
Really, it's all about listening well and truly caring. If people know that, you truly they want to feel heard. They know you have to make certain decisions, but as long as they're heard, they feel a lot better about the decision, and then truly caring about where they are and where they want to go and investing in that. And then following through. So that's one of the things about the training too, is a lot of people have really good intentions and they get all excited when they're in trainings. And then the next day they get back to work and life happens, or they don't know exactly how to implement it. So we created the software in Microsoft Teams to help actually implement. And there's a virtual coach in there that makes sure that you're really doing your one-on-ones and gives you advice. And so.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, when you put all of these things together, it's not just like the sum of those parts. You're gonna watch, your impact magnified in your organization.
Exactly.
One thing I ripped off was this saying, early and often. You said it in class, like just one of the values that kind of drives you and your teams. And so now I'm saying it everywhere, all the time. Let me know early and often what's going on. Like if there's any problems that come up. So creating these sticky little sayings. We talked about values and principles while we were out there. And so one of the things that we're doing in this new season are leadership pet peeves. I'll let you think on yours, but here's one that we were thinking about. Okay. It's whenever those sayings just kind of become like token sayings. Like, okay, the pet peeve really is motivational posters. Like where that
like just hanging
really
in the
good.
hallway.
Yeah, but that actually doesn't mean jack diddly squat, right?
Yeah.
There's like a bald eagle on it and a sunset, but how does it change how we do things around here?
Oh yeah, like how many people like walk through the halls at work, if they aren't at work anymore, but still like and roll their eyes at the value poster here, or the motivational poster there.
I had it on the back of my ID.
Yeah. You know what my user manual would say? Hang up demotivational posters all around me. Like, I would just laugh all day long, and that would bring me energy. So,
and going back to motivators and agitators, like Joe and I are totally, I have this dream of this perfect world, and like we're going to take over the city in 5 to 10 years, and like everything is going to be like heaven, right? And then Joe is like, he just wants to fight against hell. He doesn't want to waste time. Like, his motivators are completely different. So demotivated post would definitely work for you.
Yeah. It was like, my favorite one is like a picture of McDonald's French fries that said something like, not all dreams work out. Okay, that's pretty good. All right. But yeah, like, that drives me crazy. Like, here, let's decorate our walls with things that look good, but we actually don't live out.
Yes. That actually probably would be one of my pet peeves too in leadership is, so we have, of course, core values and differentiating values for MGR360, our company. So my goal is to put actions associated to those values, because you can write them out, but if you're not talking about them and living them out, and what actions do those words really mean? So, my love language is acts of service, when you do things for me. So words.
GSD.
The what?
GSD. Get stuff done.
Oh yeah, Yeah, I can't say the,
yeah.
I do get shit done.
Yeah, okay. That's
there it went.
Service.
There it went.
Yep.
And so, words don't mean as much to me as actions. So show me that you really care and that, you're an expert at something. Your words aren't as, impactful as an action.
Yeah. Well, cool. And that's what I love. Like, we went to the ranch and I was able to get away. I was equipped with a lot of tools. It wasn't just kumbaya. We didn't walk across any fire. I don't know. Maybe that's cool, but I really like that they're practical tools that I can take back and apply. And I love the idea that when people are good leaders, when they're good managers, that really is a competitive advantage for an organization. So thank you guys for what you're doing.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I love hearing that. We do, kind of feel like we're a passionate organization. Most people spend the majority of their life at work. If you think about it, you're at work during the day, your waking hours more than you are at home. So if you're working for a bad manager, that's going to affect your home life. Once you get home that evening, you're going to be in a bad mood. You're going to have awful stories, and then that's going to affect your family, friends, significant others as well. So we really feel like we're impacting even more. It's, kind of rising all tides.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, if you want to step up in your influence and really like own your unique purpose, then you need to check out what they're doing.
So MGR360, no, it's MGR360.com. Did you buy MGR360.com too? Is that confusing?
It was very expensive.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So, like, we have PurposePro.com. Somebody tried to sell it to me for like $10,000,
it's
and I'm
ridiculous.
like, no, I'm not paying you $10,000 for .com. So
yeah,
we got to go .app or .web.
.org all the way.
Yes.
PurposePro.org.
There we go.
But anyway, this is shorter. MGR360.com is what you need to go to. Makes the email shorter too, which I love that.
Right.
Check out the book. Go visit them at the ranch.
Yeah.
Plug into what they're doing.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff that you're going to want to check out. So definitely
Our app
do
is
that.
also on the Microsoft Teams store, so you can check that out as well.
Yep. And, if you want to follow along with Alicia and her journey, you'll find her on LinkedIn. And so we will, in the show notes, we'll have a link to the book, Alicia, all the ways that you can definitely connect with them. And I just thank you for being on.
I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah,
this has been a lot of fun.
Well, good.
I have one final question.
Oh, great.
He's pulled the card.
What's your least favorite thing I do as a manager?
Ooh.
Okay.
I didn't know these cards got that
Loaded
good.
gun.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I have a very empathetic employee that
Joel
works for
Trammell,
me.
what is your least favorite thing that Joel does?
Oh, that Joel.
We're spilling the dirt.
We're the same person, so I'm not sure that's a good one. But I did. So, there's different levels of cards, and you start with the easy ones, build trust up to them. But I asked one of my employees that question, and he's such a sweet guy. He's like, I mean nothing. You're so great. I'm like, nope, there's something. Yeah. And I said, why don't you think about it? And next week I'll ask you that question again. And he did think of something, and I was very thankful. So when someone tells you feedback, you always thank them.
That's good. Love it. All right.
That's huge. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's more to come in this season. We hope you stay tuned. Please share, subscribe, remind you, Catalyst Collective is a nonprofit organization. The goal behind this podcast is to equip leaders who are honestly leading the next generation. And that's our heart and soul is to raise up quality individuals and bring you the most valuable content possible. So if you're interested in connecting with us, check us out at purposepro.org, and we'll talk to you again soon.
You know what might be in Joe's user manual, but will also be on my rant list? Voice memos. Those like voice text memos.
Oh.
Bro, they're so efficient.
Things.
Just get used to it, dude.
You're like in a meeting, you gotta hold it up to your ear. It's weird. And then they don't save.
Well, that's an Apple thing. I'm gonna talk to them.
He can't control Apple, is what he's telling you.
Just send me a text.
Our team doesn't know when to cut this podcast, so we're just gonna.
There's the voice. I know. I don't know when I'm done either. So
how long they can go.
Let's just make this awkward.
Right before he claps, ready?
Yeah.
It's almost when you play that game where you're like, who's gonna look away first?
Yeah.
Who's gonna win? There's always a winner.
And now we're done.